And
Good evening, everyone. It's 7 p.m. here in Kigali, and a very warm welcome from the country of Thousand Hills. My name is Ganzam Hore Robert. I am the Conservation Agriculture Lead at ShareScreen Africa. I am joined here by my colleague, Diane Mumarungu, who is the coordinator at ShareScreen Africa as well. And together we are very, very happy to be your host this. Now, a huge welcome to Cultivate Africa, your virtual talk series designed to create a vibrant Pan-African community for everyone passionate about agriculture. Our mission is very simple. We want to bring together farmers, agronomists, researchers, and students to share their knowledge, discuss pressing challenges, and explore the innovative opportunities shaping our continent's soil-friendly farming. And now to officially begin, we are truly privileged to have with us a young and exceptionally skilled leader in conservation agriculture, Polycarp Mizero. Polycarp is a graduate student at the University of Georgia with a strong passion for agri-tech, precision agriculture, agriculture data analytics, and applied agriculture research. He is dedicated to leveraging innovative technologies and data-driven solutions to improve sustainability, productivity, and environmentally friendly agriculture. He will be unpacking the low-cost technological innovations improving African farms. Now, please join me in giving Polycarp a warm virtual welcome. Poly, the screen is all yours.
um, thank you, Robert. And as Robert said, my name is Polycarp Mizero, and today I'll be talking about low technological innovation that can help to improve farming in Africa. But before I begin my presentation, I would like to give a little bit background of what I'll be talking about. Today, I'll give a small background about the agriculture overview, how agriculture is done, and how what's the environment farmers operate in Africa. I know in the audience there's some people who have not been in Africa and they would like to know a little bit of African agriculture. I'll give a small bit case study about the project I worked on, and also we dive into small technological innovation that can be scaled all over Africa, and then we get to the take-home message. Before I begin, I would like to introduce myself as Robert did. I hold a bachelor's degree in conservation agriculture with a specialization in crop production. So feel free to call me an agronomist. I'm an agronomist or agronomy in French. So before completing my degree, bachelor's degree, I did internship at SC Rwanda, where I was a GIS and precision ag intern. And after my graduation, I worked with Gans Africa, an NGO in Rwanda, and also some countries in Africa. And I worked as a conservation agricultural fellow. And that was before coming here to the US to do my master's degree in crop and soil science, but specializing in precision ag. Um, Before we dive into those technological innovation we've been talking about, let's first understand the environment that farmers in Africa they're operating in. Africa is considered as one of the continent that relies on agriculture for the day-to-day lively basis. Over 60% of the African workforce is employed in agriculture, and especially these are young people. Africa has over 70% of young people, including myself and of course you. And um, as the considering the size of the land people farmers have in Africa, we consider that over 80% of these farmers, they're small scale farmers, they have around less than 2.5 hectares. And these small scale farmers, the one we're talking about, they produce over 80% of the food we eat, especially in sub-Saharan Africa. This was according to the FAO statistics, and it's a big proportion that these smallholder farmers contribute to the food security in Africa. However, due to uncertainty of climate, farmers in Africa, they still depend on rainfall, and due to the climate change, they are facing some losses, and also they're making loss in some time because of these uncertainties. And today we'll be talking about small changes, small practical innovation that can help to shift millions of these farms into making profit. Across Africa, farmers face common challenges. As I told you before, they're smallholder farmers, so they are not able to afford those expensive technology, expensive tractors, expensive drones. But in general, they face same common challenges. They face soil that has lost nutrients due to decades of farming, and due to some management practices that doesn't favor their soil. Their soil has been degraded, and they have lost nutrient, and they just produce a few food for the household, no longer able to produce for the market. They have limited capital in terms of investment. They can't afford to buy those big tractors, irrigation systems, because they're very expensive. And banks in Africa, they can't afford to give credits to them. There's also uncertainty about rainfall, about climate, and everything, and their overdependence on climate. They end up losing some money, and also losing some of their crops because they rely on rainfall to produce food. But we know due to the climate change, everything has changed nowadays. And also there's limited extension. We can't afford to have extension per each small cell or small Mudugud in Rwanda or any other part of Africa. And this calls upon for innovation in terms of tools and also services that can help farmers to maximize the productivity, and also lower the farm inputs. Um, To proceed, I would like to give a general trait of what successful innovation would look like. And when talking about successful innovation, it has to be affordable for a farmer. It has to, like, farmer has to be able to afford that technology. It has to be simple to adopt. Like, we know farmers in Africa, especially the biggest challenge they're meeting is no lack of knowledge. The expert in the things they're doing. They know they've been doing this for many years, for 10 or 15 years. But um, the most of them, they haven't been to school. So you can't just come and give them this hard technology that they cannot be able to adopt. It has to be simple to adopt in ways they've been doing things just in you have to improve the way, the efficiency of the things they've been doing. And also this technology has to be available on the market, and also help them to connect with the market. We're talking about how farmers will be able to produce and also sell their produce, as well as improving the yield. So in terms of money, farmer always target the thing that's gonna make money for them, and also help them reduce their input, as well as increasing their productivity. I would like to bring attention to one of the project I did. It was a fertilizer prescription app, and this is an app that I had in mind for some time in college, and I was able to accomplish this idea when I was completing my internship at SC Rwanda. It's I want you to think in a way where farmers, regardless of their location, regardless of their expertise, can maximize the productivity per acre, and also minimize the inputs. So we're talking about minimizing input while keeping the productivity they've been getting per hectare or also increasing the productivity. We know across all farms, not only in USA or in Africa, farms generally they have variability in terms of nutrients and also some other variables such as pH. We have one plot, but they have different zones. Even a farmer can easily tell you how different side of the farm produce differently. So I used all those information to be able to have an app that can help farmers to apply the right amount at the right moment, at the right place in the farm. They have to move from those uncertainties from generalizing. We know in Africa we generalize per field and then we apply randomly across all the field. Not all parts of the field need the same amount of fertilizer. So to develop this fertilizer, I had in mind, think about farmers, how this excessive application of organic fertilizer has caused the increase in soil acidity and also damage the environment. So talking about the environmental damage, we're talking about eutrophication, the way the runoff from the feed can go and deposit into the lakes and water bodies and end up exhausting oxygen in water bodies, causing like the death of fish. We had this experience in Rwanda, in Bugesera, and some other part of Africa. So these are over application and also under application because we never know how much a plant needs because we just generalize and apply uniformly across the field. As you can see from the picture, this is one field, but they have different zones. So one is doing better and the other one is a little bit fertilizer deficient. And if you apply generally, like generalize, like if you apply like 5 kgs for all these plots, they're not going to produce the same. Maybe this one, the one that is deficient in nutrients, need more than 5 kgs. And then maybe this one, which is doing better, doesn't need any fertilizer. So in my mind, I had to take this into consideration to know how much is needed and where it's needed to be. The variables we used to create the fertilizer prescription app were the soil test results. So we had to test how much nutrient is present in the feed so that we can know how much a plant really needs. And also based on the soil texture and also soil type, what's the texture of the soil? Is it sandy? Is it clay? I know in Rwanda, especially farmers, they just do the eye observation. They observe the soil. If it's dark, they say this is better than the reddish soil. But that's never the case. We need to know precisely how much nutrient, how much phosphorus, how much nitrogen is present in the soil, so that we can know how much the plant needs. We also corrected the GPS coordinate of soil samples because it was a project we did. We collaborated with the Rwanda Soil Information System. They corrected soil from Bugesera district. It's one of the districts in Rwanda. That's where Rika, where I did my bachelor's, is based. And all these samples helped us to map the current status of the soil as well as knowing the requirements, the needs the soil really needs. As you can see from this picture, is a picture we took. It's one of the study plot in Georgia, here in the University of Georgia. It can easily show you how much plots differ in terms of nutrients. One, some plots are doing better than others, so they need different requirements. We don't need to apply generally like the same uniform application. We need to apply specific amount that a plant really needs. What we did, after collecting soil sample and also testing them, we did spatial analysis to analyze, to understand the distribution of nutrient across the farm. We mapped those nutrients needs. So after knowing how much a plant need, we had to map those needs on the map. Like a farmer can easily see which part of the feed needs this amount of fertilizer and which one doesn't need or maybe need less. We did this for NPK fertilizer, so nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. We also did for lime So we mapped the acidity of soil, and we had to map which part of the feed needs liming. As a result, we were able to generate fertilizer prescription maps. These are the maps you can see from this dashboard. We also created an online dashboard. The dashboard the farmer can easily access on his tablet, on his phone, and also on his mobile phone. Um, this map had could give you the recommended fertilizer in terms of NPK and also the lime requirements. And you can know, or you just need to enter your unique parcel identifier. In Rwanda, they call them UPIs. And with your UPI, you can know how much quantity of fertilizer you need. We worked with 50 farmers, and as a result, we observed 10% reduction in nitrogen fertilizer use. So farmers were able to save this money that was spent on extra fertilizer. And also farmers were certain, like they were sure about how much to apply, and they had this confidence that this amount of fertilizer I'm going to apply is the right amount, and it's going to generate uh, proper yield as I wanted. And we observed 15% increase in yield per hectare. This is it's a big change. If taking an example, if you are getting 10 tons per hectare, you're able to get around 15. It's a big change. And For all the farmers, like it's an average around the farmers we worked with. So you know at which stage of your of planting you need to apply, which amount, how much you need to apply, and when you need what time you need to do any other um, any other changes. Let's now dive into low cost technologies that can be scaled up all over Africa. So we're talking about a change, like from small changes like this simple vertical farming to big changes like drone spraying. It's one of the cool technology that are coming up, and I know Africa. I'll give some examples across Africa where this technology has been done and adopted. So for this, I classify into three classes. We talk about soil management practices and water system innovation, and also some digital innovation tools. I'll also talk a little bit about livestock keeping. Talking about soil management, as an agronomist, I consider soil to be the backbone of agriculture. It's the foundation of agriculture. That's where all things began. And I think you can agree with me that if soil is not properly taken care of, everything's gonna get bad. And talking about some technology we need to adopt in agriculture, farmers across Africa, they still generalize the status of the soil. It's better to know the status of a soil, and there's some simple technology you can use with, without over depending on the observation, the visual observation of your eye. You can use some simple probes, soil probes like the one I showed in the picture. That's a simple soil moisture. This can tell you what's the temperature of your soil, what's the soil moisture content, and also it can guide you on when to irrigate or not. So if you know how much soil is present, you can either decide, do I need to irrigate or not? Because with your visual observation, you can get the results wrong. I want to recommend one of the tools I've worked with. It's Rare Healthy Soil. It's a company in Kenya, but also they're operating in Rwanda. We work together to test their soil testing kit. It's one of the portable kits you can carry in your pocket on your bag, and you can once you plug into the soil, you can know how much water, what's the status of your soil, what's the electrical conductivity, everything. Most of the information you can get them. It's easily connected to your Bluetooth. The way we were testing, we're calibrating, we're collecting some samples. We took them to the to the soil labs, and the results we got with from the soil lab, we compared the results we got from soil lab with the one that our sensor got. It's proven to be accurate, over 95%, and in Kenya, farmers are using this tool, and I know in a few days in Rwanda, this company is going to come in Rwanda and all over Africa. And I would advise every farmer or anybody considering investing in agriculture to test their soil, know the status, and also from those you can make a decision on which type of seeds to plant and what kind of practices, they are good agricultural practice to adopt. In terms, talking about the good agricultural practices, I know my colleague Chichi talked about it, Brave talked about it in the last presentation. It's whether you can decide if you need to do crop rotation, if you like adopting the no-till agriculture, those kind of things you can easily tell them from the results you get from your soil testing. Let's now talk about water systems. I know some people in Rwanda, they've started adopting irrigation. It's a new technology because farmers have relied on rainfall for to get water for their crops, but it's uncertain. You never know when it's gonna rain or um, how much it's going to rain. So you need to have a backup plan. Talking about a backup plan, you have to have a sure plan that can save you no matter when or no matter if it doesn't rain. So with water system innovation, I was impressed with some of the technology in Africa, especially where farmers have adopted the solar water harvesting. So they're using solar panels to irrigate their farms. The picture on this slide is the solar panel field in Nasho. Nasho is in the Kirehe district in Rwanda. It's an agricultural scheme where farmers are now doing the conservation agriculture principle. They're applying conservation agriculture, and also they're under soil consolidation. So they plant one crop for a large feed, and also they have these center pivots that can go around all the farms and they can get them. So they run on it's an off grid, so that means they rely only on solar panels, and we know sun is not going to exist to extinct anytime soon. And talking about the examples, in Ghana, they're using the low cost drip irrigation. I know center pivot could be expensive, but drip irrigation, some farmers can afford them. And it's one of the investment that are worthy to invest in it. There's also sun culture. It's an irrigation solar irrigation pumps in Kenya that farmers are using. Like they're using those solar panels to pump water. And most interestingly, I made this example. The pay-as-you-go plan. It's a model in Ghana, in Mali. I'm sorry, it's in Mali. Um, Farmers can get the solar panels and they can now pay in installment. So if you don't have money, the full cost of these solar panels and pumps, you can just pay in installment. And it's one of the simple and easy way farmers can get their plan, their feeds, and also um, pay as they make money. As if they sell their produce, they'll be able to pay the expenses they made. So now let's talk about some cool stuff. We're talking about the digital tools. Imagine the future where you can easily communicate with plants. So talking about communicating with plants, imagine having a sensor that can tell you the status of your plant, how much fertilizer is needed, what pest type investing your feed, what can be done. Those are the things I'm talking about when it comes to digital technologies. So for digital technologies, I'm talking about the AI powered farmers assistants. It's impressive how much the AI has done, not only in the tech field but also in agriculture. We We've seen several examples of how AI can help farmers make informed decision. Um, right now farmers can have like a chatbot where they can chat, like say like my plant is doing this way, what can I do? And you can upload the picture and it can tell you like maybe it's lacking phosphorus or maybe it's lacking nitrogen and you need to apply this amount of fertilizer, or maybe you need to apply this pesticide to control this pest, and in some other examples like that. In the picture, we were using, these are my classmates, Kennedy, Prodigy, and Kaliza. We're using the crop scan. We're scanning a maize feed for American, that's corn. Um, we were able to map the status of the feed, and from the map you can see this part was in the south. We're doing better than the top feed. So the top side mostly is, due to erosion, can it can drain the fertilizer and it can have the deposit on the lower part of the feed. So with just the crop scan, you can easily map all those variabilities within your feed. And also talking about digital tools, we're talking about some extension. If we can't afford like an extension agent within a cell or within a small community of people, we can for sure be able to communicate um, digitally. We can get information digitally. People can easily access information on their mobile phone. So I consider mobile phone as one of the powerful tool a farmer can carry everywhere they go in their pockets. So if there's a way to communicate to them using this mobile phone will be one of the example. But the fertilizer prescription map I developed had these settings where those people with smartphone, they can easily access the fertilizer prescription maps, but also with extension, like we're talking about getting those information on their mobile phones, and they can make real-time decision, and also they can access market. So let me give some examples talking about the market. The Isoko in Ghana, I know it's in other countries, but originally from Ghana. It's one of the platforms that link farmers with the market. So if farmers are producing this amount of produce, let's say corn or maybe beans or anything, this platform can connect them with the buyers. So um, if you know like these people, they need this amount of produce, I'll make sure to bring them to bring the produce to them. And it's one of the cool stuff that is changing how farmers are making money, and since the market, it's not predictable, it's fluctuating all the time, but if you know you have an exact market, you'll be able to generate and also maximize your produce. And also in Kenya, there's a iCow. This is one of the extension platform where the livestock keepers can get all the information they need using their phone. They can easily contact with a veterinary officer, and they can get in touch and get all the information they need. There's a digital green. It's an AI powered farmer's assistant where you can chat with an AI. So it's a farmer to farmer, and AI can help you make those decisions. So some people have trained this AI to respond to farmers' needs, as well as Tubura. Tubura is one of the program of One Acre Fund in Rwanda, and I know they work with farmers, and they have this extension program where they can help farmers achieve their needs. As somebody who's very passionate about digital tech and also precision ag, I want to bring your attention to drone and remote sensing. It's impressive how much a drone can do per day. Talking about drones, in the picture, there's several drones from DJI Matrix 300 and 355, 300 and 355 RTK. These are like the big DJI drones. In my hand, I was holding a small DJI Mini Mavic 3. Um, it's ranging around 5,000, and also the DJI matrix, it's a little bit expensive, but you can get almost the same results. It can help you to scout for diseases. You can able to map your nutrient status of your feed. using multispectral sensor or radar or maybe mica sense or anything. There's different sensors you can plug into these drones, and they can help you scout for diseases, map your nutrient needs, as well as detecting for disease. And there's some, I know Robert said something about Rwanda being a country of thousand hills. Some people don't understand how it's challenging to plant or maybe to spray on a hilly mountain. Imagine you can't even drive a tractor on a steep slopes. So you cannot. So on those mountainous region, you can use drone spraying. There are some drone that can spray where people cannot access, and it's this can be done in a matter of seconds. It takes few minutes, and they can do a job that can be done by 100 people. But a drone can do it in one day. So leveraging this technology can help farmers across Africa, across the world, achieve the productivity and also minimize the production cost. I said something about livestock. I cannot finish my presentation only talking about farming, like growing crops. If you're talking about agriculture, there has to be this component of livestock. I'm not going to define agriculture, but any farmer is complete when he does like he grows and also raise some animals. For livestock keeping, I know Rwanda has a very big plan for increasing the meat production as well as increasing a number of cows people have in Rwanda. It's I know all over Africa farmers have cows, and for some time, especially in sub-Saharan Africa, they face a challenge of hot temperatures, and you can't have a shed that can cover the pasture. And this picture, you can see a big shade structure. These are movable shades that can move depending on where your animals are located. And these cows, they have GPS collar. So with this GPS collar, it can tell you where you can easily see and also control your cows sitting in your office or at your home. You can know where they're located, and also since these color they also have some other sensor that can detect for the heartbeat and other information. You can know which some cows that are having troubles, and you can go with your veterinary officer or any other people to take care of those animals. So this GPS collar has been one of the technology that is being adopted by some farmers. It's I haven't been able to find an example in Africa, but we are using this GPS collar and also the virtual fence here in Georgia, the University of Georgia. And this was a screenshot of the where Dr. Jennifer, she is an assistant professor at the University of Georgia, was controlling, like she can see where all cows were located in the farm, and she can either open this gate or anything virtually without needing to go to the farm. You can be doing your businesses and other calls, and you can manage your cattle. As a take-home message, um, I know I talked about so many things. I'm sorry if I went I talked too much, but I just want to communicate to convey this message. Africa agriculture is going to be transformed with practical innovation, and these innovation have to be simple to adopt, and also they have to be affordable and as well as generating money for farmers. We thought about some technology in soil management, like soil testing, some soil testing kits. Um, and before I end my presentation, it's I want farmers, especially farmers in Rwanda, to check for the mobile soil testing track. Rwanda Agricultural Board has this track that can it's easily movable around Rwanda. It's mobile, so it's a truck that have all the soil testing kits, and farmer can move from one farm to another, and farmer can benefit from this. We also talked about prescription map, a cool project I worked on, and also for water irrigation and water management. We talked about solar irrigation and solar water harvesting, as well as digital platforms such as um, mobile advisory tools. Thank you so much. Thank you for your kind attention. I look forward to um, learning more from you, and I hope you gained something from this presentation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Polly. We definitely gained a lot from your presentation. As someone who saw you from the beginning when we went to the Rwanda Institute for Conservation Agriculture, and the passion you started with in agritech, I would say that I'm very, very proud of you from where you started with and where you are now. I think you are someone that our farmers need to develop. You're someone that our agriculture sector in Africa needs to develop. I'm going to use this privilege of being the host and ask the first question. It's very simple. I want to bring this to the real life scenarios that we face on a daily basis. Suppose that I'm a farmer. I've been doing farming for years now, and I've been just using my intuition. How best do you come as an extensionist, as someone who has these tools, and convince me to now trust in an app, let's say, or in a certain device? How best can we as extensionists support farmers who has been using their intuition for years? Someone who has worked with many farmers when you were in Rwanda, how best do we support our farmers?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for that question, Robert. That's a very interesting question. Um, so as First of all, I have to acknowledge the expertise of farmers. I know many farmers has the expertise that I really need to learn. I need to learn from them. So me, as a young graduate or maybe as a young professional in this field, bringing these new technologies, like I will not bring them from a cloud or from like it has to be something concrete. So one thing I know to approach a farmer, and as somebody coming from an academic background, I have to come with concrete examples. Like I have to bring that specific tool. Like this is a machine, it does this, it can help you minimize this, then this. But I have also to give examples where it has been tested or maybe we have been successful. So that's the reason why before bringing any technology out there, it's better to first test the technology on maybe on small scale with some farmers that trust in your idea. I know some farmers are willing um, to test new technologies. I know some of my lab mates, Clit is here, and we work with some farmers that are willing to know what we're doing. And if we have those successful stories and we bring it to the local farm in Africa, and we say we test this product with this farm on this size, and we're able to generate these results, and if a farmer is willing to adopt, they will always give you a chance. And as it's always, I would also always advise people to put like if you think about innovation, you're not going to make money from the first prototype. Know that going to take time for people to adopt, for people to gain that trust in you, but be willing to go with the change, to go with the movement, to go with the flow. If you test with one farmer, he's going to do the publication, the marketing for to the other farmers, and it's going to go like that and we end up being a success. If it becomes a success, it's going to be adopted by many farmers across across Africa. I think that's how I can approach this. And I believe if there's an extension agent here, he or she can do better job than me, better job than me. But yeah, that's how I can approach this.
Thank you very much, Polly. I think you answered the question in a really good manner. And I had a follow-up question, but I'll give a chance to our audience. I can see there's a question into the chat box. I'll ask my follow-up question later. Uh, Serge wrote into the chat box. He asked the question, do you think that we have enough expertise and infrastructure to take advantage of drones in African agriculture? For example, in spraying, we need more precise location, GPS, or do you think the number of people willing to pay for such services can generate turnover to cover costs of such equipments, in bracket, I context that most farmers work on their farm daily. Not sure
Mm.
if you get the question or if we can ask. So, do you get the
Yeah,
question?
I got the question.
Great, great.
Thank you so much, Serge. One thing yes, we have enough infrastructure to adopt this technology like drone spraying. And only one challenge, the one of the thing I saw as the challenge is the investment. If you're talking about drone spraying, we're talking about a drone that costs over 50,000. It's a big investment. You're not going to break even in 1 year. It will take maybe 2 years or 3 years. But if you're willing for a change, it needs some investment. One thing I know can be a solution to that if there could be like a government subsidy. I know some government have the subsidy program for seeds, improved seeds, and also some other technology like irrigation, where government can cover for some cost and farmer can pay in installment or maybe they can pay less money. That can work. For sure in those terms, these technologies can work. And I also know not Rwanda only. Africa, we have expertise in terms of this innovation. We have some people have been trained to operate robots, operate these drones. To some people already have generated some innovative tools like those prescription maps, apps, and also some other technology that are coming up. I know a farmer in Ghana already starting the drone spraying. It's very expensive, but yeah, it's getting somewhere. And if government, like if those policies can favor the subsidy program for drone spraying, people can pay installment and also or maybe pay less money, that can be success. In my understanding, I think Africa has of the needed facility and also needed expertise to be able to um, operate and also achieve this innovation.
All right. I can see Serge, sorry,
Yeah.
Serge is saying thank you. So it
Yeah.
means his question was answered. So I had a follow-up question
Yes.
on farmers using their intuition and being trained on how to use this app. Well, I can ask it and then Kriti will come in and ask the question. My question is, do you see these apps replacing human extension officers? We usually have extension officers reaching out to the farmers and providing their services. Do you see these apps and tools replacing um, replacing these extension officers, or they will always work hand in hand?
Thank you. Thank you for the very good question. I don't see these apps replacing human extension agents or maybe officers. They work hands in hand. So the way this works, even though we develop fertilizer prescription app, it's an app, it's somewhere online. Everyone can access it, but not every farmer can be able to use it. So the way this works, we train those extension officers. they get the knowledge to how these apps work. They're simple, but still they need to be trained. Like some people need to be trained, and those extension officers will be the one to go and train farmers. Since we cannot reach all the farmers in a sector or in a village or in a district, those extension officers will be trained and then can be trained and then go and train other farmers. And also, in case they have any issue and we cannot respond in time, they can maybe we have like those services where they can contact you. But if there's somebody closer, they can who can go and take a look on what kind of challenge they're facing. And in some ways, like let's say if you tell a farmer to take a picture of a crop, sometimes they can generate like good pictures. So if there's somebody who has been trained and can go physically, that could be a good success. And I think these apps will not replace the human extension officers. They will work hand in hand. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Polly. That's a good future to look out for. So the extension farmers should not be worried that their job is getting lost. We can accept Kriti, and if she
Mm.
can please unmute and ask the question.
Thank you so much, Robert. It was a great presentation, Polly. I really loved it, the way you incorporated both the scenarios of Africa and the US. We all know like US is a developed country and they can invest a lot on the infrastructures. And it's not the same for all the other countries or continents. So what I feel like is there's already been a lot of traditional data collection, right? They've gone to the field, collected soil samples, and they have those data already in their data sets. So have you ever thought of using the satellite imagery? It's also one of the form of using precision ag to look at the variabilities in the field and maybe get a prescriptions related to that. It's not like we need to have an infrastructures, but have you thought about using the already present data sets and kind of creating or mapping the field for small scale farmers? Because we already have extension agents, because we can hire some of the precision specialists for one whole part and maybe incorporate some machine learning and whatnot. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah.
That's my question. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much, Kriti. Yeah, thank you for bringing this idea. So there's so many information, like open source information, like satellite imagery, some other information that are available to everybody. It's for my case, I just want to be, how can I say? I just want to be more precise. I know some with drone imagery you can get some information, but if you have the physical soil testing results, it's more precise than maybe than the satellites in some ways. But also use leveraging those information from satellite can cover a large area that can generate a whole prescription map for Rwanda, for even Africa. That's one thing I know. And I tried that also. And but for my case, I just want to focus on the results I had already in hand. So Rwanda information system, the Rwanda soil information system is called RWASIS. It's one of the government institution project, like government project that had corrected data already and they were not being used. So I want to use those information already present. But I know my colleague Serge who asked the first question, um, uh, created the project like it was suitability analysis. Like that was he did an analysis of um, like suitability analysis was to he was analyzing like what crops can be planted anywhere and where like the suitability analysis using open source data. I saw he raised hand. Maybe he can talk about that, but for sure with drone and also satellite imagery, you can get like big results from that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, Serge. Serge, if you can come in, it's very okay.
So I was saying some of the data from the satellite can be useful to generate a prescription map. But when it comes to smallholder farmers in Africa, comes to precision. So we need like imagery with less than 50 centimeter. And to get those from open source, it's tricky. And most of the time you have to pay big sum of money, which is not good use case in African scenario. And also, most of the satellite imagery they have calibration issues. If you interested, you have in the satellite image, there is a free imagery called Planet, and it's captured by small uh, satellite sensors, but it has calibration errors. So also, the satellite image is not that reliable. I can say with high resolution. So drone big gives you a big advantage. And also, if you know, one of the big problem with satellite imagery is clouds. So if you know African geography, there's almost there's area where you have always crowds. Like if I can speak from Rwanda, like northern part of Rwanda, there's crowd every day. But if you have a drone, you can go in the field, then you can collect image. So the satellite approach is good, but it's not that convenient for every time use.
I
Thank
was just appreciating Serge's input. I know he worked mostly with satellite imagery, so yeah, that was a very good input. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Serge. I think this is a good comment. You're just giving me flashbacks of times at Rika when you and Serge used to collaborate on different projects in agritech. This is a good way to go back in time. We had an intervention from Umukiza Josiane. I'm sorry I missed it, but I'm going to read it. She asked, I would like to ask, how is your project, low cost technological innovation, improving African farms, classified as low cost because those tools you used in conducting experiment are more expensive, and how smallholder farmer in Africa may adapt it, and if it's possible, you can share me with the approach you're using to reach and support farmers. She thinks the tools you used and maybe the app are more expensive, and how do you consider that as a low cost tech?
Sure. Yeah, thank you, Josiane. One thing, they're not expensive. So if we're talking about soil testing, I had a chance to do one project that involves collecting soil samples and then also going through the soil testing and analysis. And you can consider like if it's 1 hectare, like for soil testing, it's going to take like the cost will be less than 30,000. That will be maybe $30. Let's say maximum $50. That's the maximum you can spend per hectare for soil testing. And maybe if you have somebody to take those GPS coordinates across the farm, it's 1 day, maybe if like for the consultants I was doing when we were testing the soil kit, I would get like maybe $50 per day. So if that was it was a testing project, but if you're working with somebody, if I developed an app and you as a farmer, if you want to use one of my service, I'm not going to sell you my app. You just need recommendation. You need the status of your soil. I would set a price. So I'm not going to sell you my app. There's a difference in terms of licensing a product and also using my service. You're just getting a service. Me, I know I spend more money or much time developing the app, but if it comes to to doing business, I'll maybe license it and people can just get service on a low cost. So I don't think it's expensive. I'm not sure if I was talking about the prescription app. It wasn't expensive for farmers, like getting your results and the recommendation would be less than, for sure, would be less than 50,000. But if you're talking about drones, that you also, you don't need to buy a drone as a farmer. If you own less than a hectare or 2 hectares, you don't need to buy a drone. You just need to work with people who already have those drones. They will charge a price which will be less than, like, the money you're going to spend is less than, it's cheaper than owning a drone by yourself. If a drone costs, like, let's say 5,000 USD, it's and the service to fly a drone per day, they will charge you maybe 100, $200, maximum $500. It's not that expensive. And with the amount of information they can give you, it's worth it. I'm pretty sure it's worth it. People we work, like, take an example for farmers we work with in Georgia. They have like big sized land. We help them know their management zone, their yield expectation. They can know the status of the pace they represent, which part need more emphasis, like where they need to focus more within their feed. So it's one thing you can get within one day than spending maybe 20 days like walking through the farm. So if you as a farmer, if you think about a business, you need to also consider time. So if there's a technology that can help you get the results, get all you need within one day, it's cheaper than spending 20 days working on a farm on somebody who will pay $20. So I need it's you need to we need to consider those balance. We need to balance between time, cost, and efficiency. And that's what technology does. So technology help you to save time while also achieving your production efficiency. I'm not sure if I answered the question, but that's how I think I would answer. Thank you.
Yeah, well, I think you answered the question, Polly. And if maybe we can also use the context of Rwanda, many smallholder farmers are clustered into cooperatives, and it's not like you're going to run that cost alone. You partner with your fellow smallholder farmers, and you, just like you said, you pay a one-time service. It's not like you're buying an app, and if you compare it to the cost of, just like you say, do generalizing, it would make your math very easy. We also had a question from Lucy Kaitesi. She asked, could we consider testing these technologies with farmers on model farms so they can build trust more quickly after seeing the results firsthand?
Thank you. Thank you so much, Lucy. Yes, testing, and I also want to acknowledge the input from Crispin Ngakani, who talked about the capacity building. So, if we testing technology, it's always better to work with model farmers. It's one of the strategies that have been proven to be successful. So, model farmers have built this reputation in community, and they're trusted by their fellow farmers more than we do, that more than any new company can be trusted. So if this technology will be tested with these farmers, that will be a very good start. That will be a good start to reach to many people, as also these model farmers can help spread the news. If something is successful, for sure, that's the perfect marketing. And the model farmers are a good example to start with. So I'm very positive with this. In my case, I worked with 50 farmers, the one who were willing. I didn't have any list of farmers who were like the model farmers in Mugesera. I just worked with farmers who were willing to work with me. So, but if I got a chance to work with model farmers, that would be a success. And any new technology, I will always advise them to start with model farmers. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Polly. I can see a thumbs up from Lucy. We also have a question from Tav Irajena. He asked, at what percentage will this technology increase the income or the production
Um,
for s- The production small agriculture for small agriculture people. Yeah.
Um, let me go back to my example where for my prescription map. So people who adopted this app, like who were using my recommendation, they were able to save to reduce fertilizer input by 10%. So they were able to save that money. If you're spending 100,000 for fertilizer, you're able to save at least 10,000. And if you're spending 1 million, you're able to save 100,000. That's another profit. And also, since they're applying the correct amount, they're able to gain 15% increase. So here's the thing. First of all, the first profit you made was to save some money on the inputs you're putting in your farm. And also you're able to achieve more production by 15%. It's a 15%. Some people, if they think about 15%, they just think that it's a small amount, but it's a big thing. It's a big thing on average. And also that means like they're not applying excess or underapplying, so they were playing the correct amount. That's why they were able to achieve that production. So overall, technologies depend on which type of technology. In return, they always end up generating more profit. So I just gave an example from my app, but I know I saw when I was reading the pay as you go plan model in Mali, people who are using this pay as you go plan, the solar irrigation pumps, they're generating huge profit from that, up to 25% increase. It's a big percentage. And also some farmers who are using the AI driven assistants, they're also getting more money from that. So depending on which technology you adopt, you always get some profit because it's been tested and been proven to be successful. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Poli. We have an intervention from Lucaria. He said, I think that certainty is better than probability. Developing an app need high precision. To me, I find it worth to incur the expenses and be sure that wherever it is applied, it will bear good results. I think this is a very good takeaway in addition to what you gave us earlier.
Yes,
And I think we are also towards the end of our talk tonight. But if there are some audience who still have questions, you can also ask. My one final question is, you are a graduate student at Georgia, and if you were to advise some young agricultural graduates or some prospective, let's say if we have students who are undergoing their studies in agriculture, uh, and they want to drive innovation, where should they focus their efforts generally?
sure. Yeah. Um, Thank you so much for that good question. As somebody who has been there as a student, I'm almost close to my graduation as a master's student. My program, I'm graduating this May, hopefully, and I hope it's
Congratulations.
coming. Thank you. So as somebody who has been there, in the way I approach this kind of choices, when it comes to where I want to focus my energy or my force or my to direct my life, I always choose to take a unique pathway. Don't go for something that majority is going for. Like just challenge yourself. I know when you still in college or maybe you still maybe in high school or something, you always say like, "Oh, these people are making money. Why can't I go into medicine?" I had passion to do medicine, and it kind of changed when I got admission to Rika. And when I went there at Rika, I saw many people doing something like I know farmers are going to grow crops, they're going to plant seed, they're going to spray to spray pesticide, they're going to harvest, and then they're going to sell. What can I do that is different from that? That's why I chose to go for this precision ag. thing. I ended up doing my internship at Esri Rwanda, which was uncommon. Me and Sergio were the first interns to go there. And it was a little bit challenging because nobody has done the same thing. So we had to develop kind of our curriculum. We had to see how we can apply those spatial analysis to agriculture. And those success because I learned so many things. So we had to learn GIS, learn some coding, some things, and in results, in the end, it paid off. So if you're still there out there, think about it to direct your life. Go for something that you think is unique. That's one thing. Be unique, and also trust in your guts. So if you think you can do something differently and change people's life, go for that. And also never be afraid of taking some risky move. Like if you at some point if you feel like you're doing too much, but don't be afraid to take risk. Um, and I will also encourage everybody to have the right mentor. I always have the right mentorship. I still consult my mentors. So I have a mentor who I talk to regarding any decision I need to take life in my life. Like for example, right now I'm still debating should I do PhD, should I go for work? That's one of the decisions you have to talk with some people, and people who have been in the same shoes, they can give the proper mentorship. So always have the right mentor, go for something unique and go for something that's going to make change, like that is going to do something differently than other people are doing it. Um, that's my the thing I can share with those prospective young fellow, and I know the future looks bright. They're gonna make it. Thank you.
Polycarp, if you can give us some parting message or parting words, and then we call it an evening.
Um, as we conclude this, there's so many technology and especially youth. I've seen, I got a chance to move around the audience. Most of them are young. If you plan to invest in agriculture, go for something that is more precise and don't just go for the generalized things. Be precise in the recommendation you're going to get. Be also just do something differently and make some changes in your community, as well as adopting new technology that can make change. I like to read more stories about agriculture and agriculture in general, especially in Africa. So if something is working somewhere, it's you can also do it in your country. Yeah, thank you all. It was so nice meeting you, and thank you, Robert, for this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Polly. It was a privilege to have you. It's always a privilege to learn from a fellow young expert in agriculture. And for everyone on this platform, this is your home. If you want to learn anything agriculture, please come back to us. This is Cultivate Africa and is prepared by Share Screen Africa. We will always be happy to receive you. Thank you so much for being with us tonight, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.